Alrighty, artists, what we are going to do for this project is we are going to be inspired by Andy Warhol's art. So we remember Andy Warhol kind of glorified celebrities within his artwork. It was the coolest thing. And within his prints, you would sometimes see one celebrity repeated multiple times in all of these, really bright and contrasting colors. So what we're going to actually do is create our very own artwork, also of a celebrity or famous person of your choice. And we are going to create a digital version almost inspired by Andy Warhol's art. So you can see here on the example that we are going to repeat one image 4 times. And we are going to play around with some really fun backgrounds, editing the photos in order to add some different colors in there and things like that. So what we need to do before we get this project started is choose who we are going to include in our work, and then we can get started. So for my example, I am going to do Jason Momoa within this piece. So we're going to open Photoshop, and here's the trick to this assignment. We really need 2 different documents. We need one document that is our final, that is going to be an 8.5 by 11. And then we need one smaller document for a picture that will fit inside that document 4 times. So I want you to think about this conceptually. If we create a new document on Photoshop, again, we're starting off with an 8.5 by 11 document, not in pixels. If it's in pixels, that's way small. Change from pixels to inches. 8.5 for width, height 11. Resolution, you can keep it 200 pixels per inch. Color mode, RGB, background can remain white. Okay, make sure it's on white. Leave the title as Untitled 1, and you'll understand why in a minute here. Untitled 1 is going to be our final document. Untitled 2 is going to fit inside that document 4 times. So in other words, we need to create another document that is 1/4 of this. So let's create this one to start. 8.5 by 11. You can see with the ruler, 8.5 by 11. Now we have to open another file. File, new. This one needs to be half the width and half the height. So again, move to inches, leave it as Untitled 2. What is half of 8.5? 4.25. What is half of 11? 5.5. Resolution 200 pixels per inch. RGB color, and we want a white background again. Click Create. Now the cool thing about this is this document is smaller and will fit inside our main document 4 times, okay? You'll understand why in a minute. So what we need to do is start off with the image of the celebrity that we are going to be repeating 4 times. So we are going to go to File, Place Embedded, as always if we're adding an image. Pull up your celebrity image and click Place. Right away, change the size to the correct size. Once I'm liking how that looks, really all you want is the shoulders and up for this project. So that's perfect. Once I have the correct size, I can click Enter, or I can click the little check box up here. Click Enter. Now we have our person. We want fun colors behind our celebrity, so we are going to get rid of the background. So we've already had a taste of how to do that. So we are going to again use that quick selection tool that is on our toolbar. It looks like a dotted oval with a little paintbrush. It might be under your object selection tool. You'll just have to right click and change it to quick selection tool. All right, now my little cursor pops up. Before I do anything, I need to rasterize this layer, because if it's not rasterized, I can't do many edits. All right? We rasterize it, we're changing it to an image we can edit, whereas prior to rasterizing it, it's an image that's basically, it's more of a mathematical image, so it's really tough to edit that. So we need to go to our layer of our celebrity. We have to right click, and we need to find rasterize layer. Click rasterize layer, and now we are ready to make edits. So again, on our quick selection tool, I am going to left click and drag, and I am going to select Jason Momoa's outline, basically. I am going to leave out the very fine strands because those can be super, super tough to select. And I'm going to go all the way around the human figure here. Alright, so right now I have Jason Momoa selected, but I'm seeing some areas here that still have the background. So right now I'm selecting. Now I need to deselect or subtract something. So like right now, if I wanted to add more, I can use the plus tool way up here on the left. If I need to get rid of part of the selection, I need to switch to my subtraction tool to get rid of any areas. All right, it's looking a little bit better. I want to get just that one strand of hair, which is super hard. Like I said, hair can be just a bear to work with, but let's see what we can do here. Not too bad. Down here I have a little bit of the background that I don't want in there. So again, I have to play with adding the selection back in with the plus, and then subtracting when I want to get rid of the background. I'm not going to do that really thin pieces, the pieces that are really thin, otherwise that would be super tough. So right now that looks good. Now we have our person selected. We now need to do the opposite and select the background. So if you remember how to do this, does anyone remember how to kind of do the inverse, the opposite of the selection we have? We can go to select and click inverse. And now that changes from highlighting the figure. Now instead we have the entire background highlighted with that dotted line. So now I can delete this background image. So I can do that one of two ways. I can click edit, cut, or I can go to my keyboard and click Control X to get rid of it as well. All right, now our background is completely gone. At this point, what we got to do is put a kind of a green screen in the back of Jason Momoa. So we are going to edit the background at this point. So we are going to go over to our layer or background. Right now it's actually not a layer, it's just called our background. We need to unlock that layer by clicking the little lock. And then we are actually going to paint this green with our paint bucket tool. We're going to do a really fun lime green. So if we go to our paint bucket, it looks like a bucket dumping out like one little drop of paint here. I then will go to my color swatch and make sure I have selected a very lime green bright color. Click OK, and I'm on my background layer, so when I click the background with the paint bucket tool, it should change to green. So we are all set here. We have our images ready to put into our other bigger document at this point. Okay, so in order to get this image over to our other document, we need to copy both of these layers. So essentially, I'm going over to my layer panel, and I am going to I am going to left click my Jason Momoa layer, hold down Shift on my keyboard, and then click my background layer. Both should be highlighted. Then I am going to right click. I am then going to go up to duplicate layers. Now the cool thing about this is you can choose your destination. Where do you want this layer to be copied to? If we want it on our current document, which is Untitled 2, we can leave it as Untitled 2. If we want to copy it into our other document that is open on Photoshop, which is Entitled 1, we can click Untitled 1. Click OK. Like magic, we see that our image pops up over here. Now here's what I'm noticing. We did not crop the image before pasting it over. You can still see a little bit of that background. Let's go back and fix that. Edit, undo. Before we copy this, let's go to our toolbar. We can click our cropping tool, and we need to make sure that our area around our entire picture is selected. Just like that. Click Enter or click the check box. Now, when we click our Move tool, so let's right click and go back to our Move tool under Crop, we can see that there is no longer any junk on the corners of our image, which is perfect. So now again, let's go back and highlight both layers. Let's left click, hold down Shift, left click background. Make sure both are highlighted. Right click and click duplicate layers. Choose the destination. We want it to go on to our first document, our Untitled 1. Click OK. Now when we go back, we shouldn't have any junk in the corners here. So that is video 1 for how to edit the image, get rid of the background, and put in a kind of a green screen. So now we can go and make some fun edits. And that will be a separate tutorial that is on video 2. So tune in for video 2 for the next step here.